Welcome to Famous People, English Stories. Ready to level up your English? Here we learn through stories slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey.
Introduction. Today's story is about a woman who wanted everything: success, money, freedom, but didn't want to work too hard to get it. She was smart, she was creative, and she had big dreams. But there was one problem: she was lazy. This is the story of Mia, a woman who was ambitious but lazy, and how that changed her life in ways she never expected. Chapter 1: The Dreamer. Mia lived in a small apartment on the edge of the city. Every morning, she would wake up around 10 or 11. The sunlight would peek through her curtains, and she would stretch in bed like a cat. Her room was always a little messy, books everywhere, a coffee cup or two on her desk, and notebooks filled with plans and ideas. On her wall, there were sticky notes that said things like "Start a business," "Become a millionaire," "Live on the beach one day." She had dreams, big ones. But after she made her morning coffee, Mia would sit on the couch with her phone, scrolling through social media for hours. She would watch videos about successful people, young CEOs, digital nomads, artists traveling the world. I could do that, she would think. I just need the right idea. And she had ideas. Oh, so many ideas. I should start a podcast, she told herself one day. I could sell art on Instagram, she thought the next. Maybe I'll write an ebook about motivation. She was full of ambition. But there was always something stopping her from starting. I'm tired today. I'll do it tomorrow, she said. Or, I need more time to plan it first. Or, I'm not ready yet. Maybe next week. So days passed. Then weeks. Mia would get excited about an idea, write about it in her notebook, then do nothing with it. She was always about to begin. But she never really began. At night, when she lay in bed, she felt disappointed in herself. She wasn't happy. She knew she was wasting time. She knew she was smart. She believed she had talent. But something was missing. Something inside her didn't want to move. I don't want a boring 9-to-5 job, she told her friends. I want freedom. I want to be my own boss. I just don't want to work all the time. Her best friend, Lily, looked at her kindly. You don't have to work all the time, Mia, she said. But you do have to start. Mia sighed. I will. I promise. Just not today. One day, something happened that Mia didn't expect. Her landlord knocked on her door. He was holding a letter. Mia, he said, this is a final notice. If you don't pay rent this month, you'll have to leave the apartment. She froze. But I'm working on some things, she lied. The truth was, she hadn't earned a single dollar in months. Her savings were gone. Her part-time job at the cafe had ended weeks ago. She had spent most of her time watching videos, making plans, and avoiding hard work. That night, Mia sat on the floor of her room, looking around. She saw her notes, her books, her empty bank account on her phone screen. She felt panic rise in her chest. I'm in trouble, she whispered. But then, something surprising happened. She started to laugh. It wasn't happy laughter. It was the kind of laugh that comes when you finally realize the truth. The truth that no one else is coming to save you. The truth that you are the only one responsible for your life. I'm ambitious, she said to herself. But I've been lazy. For the first time, Mia admitted it. That night, she didn't sleep. She made a new list, but this one was different. It wasn't filled with dreams. It was filled with actions. Wake up at 7 a.m. Apply to 3 jobs. Finish 1 project. No phone until after lunch. 1 hour of focused work. She put the list on her wall, right next to the sticky notes about dreams. This is how it starts, she whispered. 1 small action at a time. And just like that, something began to shift. Mia, the dreamer who never started, had finally taken the first step. Chapter 2. The first step is the hardest. The next morning, Mia's alarm rang at 7:00 a.m. She opened one eye and looked at her phone. A part of her wanted to turn it off and go back to sleep. No one's waiting for me, she thought. No boss, no meetings. Why am I doing this? But then she looked at the list on her wall. She had written it with hope. With courage. She sat up, rubbed her eyes, and whispered, "Just try." She got out of bed and made coffee. It felt strange being awake before the city was fully alive. The air was quiet. The sunlight looked different, more honest, more peaceful. After breakfast, she opened her laptop. The screen glowed, and so did her nervous heart. She searched for remote jobs. Jobs she used to think were beneath her: virtual assistant, customer service, data entry. Before, she told herself she was too smart for those. But now, she knew she had to start somewhere. 3 applications. Sent. She checked the first task off her list. Next, she opened an old design project she had started 6 months ago. A simple logo for a pretend brand she once wanted to launch. She had abandoned it halfway. I'll finish it, she told herself. 1 hour later, the logo was done. It wasn't perfect. But it was done. Done felt better than perfect. She looked at the screen and smiled. This is what it feels like to actually try, she said. By the afternoon, she felt tired, but a new kind of tired. Not the lazy kind. Not the tired from doing nothing all day. It was the tired that comes from using your brain, pushing through resistance, and creating something. It felt good. The next few days were a mix of small wins and tiny battles. Mia didn't turn into a productivity machine overnight. She still had moments where she opened TikTok and lost 20 minutes. She still felt the pull of the couch. She still wanted to nap in the middle of the day. But now, something had changed. Every time she got off track, she pulled herself back. She would say, "It's okay. Just go back to the list." Some days, she finished everything on the list. Other days, just 1 or 2 things. But unlike before, she was moving forward even if slowly. One afternoon, she got a reply from a job application. A small online company wanted to interview her for a freelance writing job. It paid only a little, but it was real. Mia stared at the email, heart pounding. This could be the first door, she thought. The interview was over Zoom. She wore a clean shirt, tied her hair, and tried to look confident, even though her hands were shaking. The woman who interviewed her, Sarah, smiled warmly. "Tell me about yourself," Sarah said. Mia paused. What should she say? Should she tell the truth, that she'd been stuck for months, watching life pass by? No. Not like that. She smiled and said, I'm someone who's learning how to stop planning and start doing. I used to wait for the perfect time. Now, I just begin. Sarah raised her eyebrows. That's a great answer. Mia got the job. It wasn't big. Just 2 blog posts a week. But it was a start. She earned her first $150 in a long time. She stared at her bank app and smiled. Real money. For real work, she whispered. That night, she called Lily. You won't believe it, she said. I'm actually doing it. Lily laughed. I do believe it. You just had to start. I feel different, Mia said. Like I'm finally respecting myself. Lily nodded. That's what happens when you keep your promises to yourself. Still, Mia knew she had a long way to go. One job wouldn't change her life. 1 week of action didn't erase months of laziness. But something inside her was growing, like a small flame. She wanted more. More focus. More wins. More freedom, but earned this time. The old Mia wanted results without effort. The new Mia wanted effort that led to real results. She looked at her wall. The sticky notes were still there. Start a business. Become a millionaire. Live on the beach one day. But now, next to those dreams, was a new note. Do the work, even when you don't feel like it. Mia still struggled some days. She still had to fight the lazy part of her. But she wasn't just a dreamer anymore. She was becoming a doer. And that was a beginning. Chapter 3: The Comparison Trap. Mia was working more now, writing blog posts, doing small design jobs, applying for better freelance gigs. Her days were fuller, and she finally had a routine. But with more work came more pressure. She had joined a few online groups for freelancers. At first, they inspired her. People shared their wins, just made $5,000 this month. Landed a client in New York. Finally quitting my job to go full-time. Mia smiled at their stories, but inside, something started to hurt. Why am I not there yet, she wondered. Why is everyone moving faster than me? She began to compare herself to others. Their websites looked better. Their work seemed more professional. They had more followers, more clients, more success. She would open Instagram or LinkedIn and scroll for hours, watching people live the life she wanted. I'm trying so hard, she whispered one night. But it's never enough. The next morning, she couldn't get out of bed. The lazy feeling was back, but this time it wasn't just tiredness. It was something heavier. It was doubt. What if I'm not good enough, she thought. What if this is a waste of time? She didn't open her laptop. She didn't write. She didn't check her to-do list. She just lay there, feeling like a fraud. Later that day, she met Lily for coffee. You look tired, Lily said gently. Mia sighed. I'm doing all this work, but when I look at other people, it feels like I'm still behind. Lily nodded. I've felt that way, too. But it's like everyone's winning but me, Mia said. Are they? Lily asked. Or are you just seeing their best moments? Mia looked down. She knew Lily was right. Success isn't a race, Lily added. You're building something. It takes time. That night, Mia went home and opened her notebook, the one filled with old dreams and unfinished plans. She flipped to a blank page and wrote, "Things I've done in the last 30 days." Then she listed everything. Woke up early 18 days in a row. Finished 6 blog posts. Got 2 paid clients. Sent 12 job applications. Didn't give up. When she looked at the list, something shifted inside her. "I am growing," she said softly. "Even if it's slow." She made a new rule for herself that day: no more comparing beginnings to someone else's middle. The next week, she worked harder, but smarter. She created a personal rule called the Daily 3. Every day, she would do 1 thing for income, 1 thing for skill, 1 thing for herself. She made sure to rest, stretch, and even walk in the park without her phone. She started reading again, books that inspired her, not just videos that distracted her. And little by little, she felt stronger. One day, she received an email from a company she admired. They had read one of her blog posts. They wanted to hire her for a short-term writing contract. The pay was better than anything she had earned so far. She closed her eyes and smiled. "This is what happens when I stop watching and start doing," she whispered. But success didn't solve everything. Some days, she still felt that pull, the old lazy voice in her head saying, "Just skip it today. You deserve a break." She learned to talk back. "I do deserve rest," she'd say, "but not escape." She created a rule: rest is part of the plan. Avoiding is not. She started keeping a journal, not about feelings, but about actions. Every night, she would write, "What did I build today?" Even on her worst days, she could usually find something. Sent 1 email. Read for 20 minutes. Said no to distraction. Small wins. Daily proof that she was moving. A month later, Lily called. "You've changed, Mia," she said. "Really?" Mia asked. "Yes. You're not just dreaming anymore. You're doing." Mia smiled. "It still feels hard. But now I know hard isn't bad. It just means I'm growing." She looked at her wall again. Her dream notes were still there. But they looked different now, not just hopes, but goals she was working toward every day. One sticky note stood out. "Be patient with the climb." Mia touched it gently. She wasn't at the top yet. But she was no longer at the bottom. And more importantly, she was finally moving. Chapter 4: The Shortcut. 3 months had passed since Mia had started changing her life. She wasn't rich. She wasn't famous. But she was no longer the same girl who stayed in bed till noon, dreaming and doing nothing. Her days were fuller now. Her mind was clearer. Her heart? Still scared sometimes, but stronger than before. Then, one Friday morning, she got a message that shook her. It was from an old classmate, Jade. They hadn't spoken in years. "Hey Mia. I've been following your writing online. Looks like you're really building something. I have a business idea I think you'd be perfect for. Want to chat?" Mia raised an eyebrow. Jade had always been the ambitious type, fast-talking, confident, always chasing the next big thing. They met for coffee later that week. Jade was dressed sharp, expensive shoes, gold rings, a sleek laptop. She looked like success. "I'm building a digital coaching brand," Jade said. "Helping people grow their mindset, build income, escape the 9-to-5. You'd be great as a content partner." Mia blinked. "What would I be doing?" "Writing, mostly. Emails, blogs, maybe even scripts for online courses. I have a launch coming up soon. Lots of work. Fast money." Mia felt a mix of excitement and worry. "How fast?" she asked. Jade grinned. $2,000 this month, easy. More if you help me sell." Mia's heart skipped. That was more than she had made in 3 months. Jade pulled out her tablet and showed her a plan, fancy graphics, numbers, names of influencers. "It's all ready. I just need you to plug in your words. And if you want to earn more, you can promote it yourself. You've got a little audience now, right?" Mia paused. There it was, the shortcut. That night, Mia sat at her desk, staring at her laptop. $2,000. She could pay rent for 2 months. She could take a break from chasing small jobs. She could breathe. But something didn't sit right. She started reading the material Jade gave her. It was shiny. Motivational. But shallow. Success is in your mind. If you're poor, it's your fault. Hustle harder. No excuses. Mia frowned. She didn't believe in that message. She believed in effort, yes. But not in blaming people who were struggling. Not in fake promises or pushing pain for profit. She opened her journal and wrote, "Is this what I want to be known for?" The answer came quickly. No. The next morning, Mia met Jade again. "Thanks for the offer," Mia said softly. "But I have to say no." Jade looked surprised. "Why? You said you wanted freedom, right? This is your chance." "I want freedom," Mia said. "But I want to earn it honestly. Slowly if I have to." Jade tilted her head. "Suit yourself. Just don't wait too long to make real money." Mia smiled. "I am. Just in my own way." They parted ways. Mia walked home, heart heavy but proud. That night, she felt fear creep in. Did I just walk away from something good, she wondered. But then she remembered something Lily once told her. Fast isn't always forward. So Mia did what she always did when she felt unsure. She worked. She finished a draft for a new client. She posted a helpful blog. She replied to a message from a young writer who asked for advice. That message made her smile. She was no longer just learning, she was leading, even just a little. 1 week later, something unexpected happened. A business coach had found one of Mia's posts on LinkedIn and shared it with her audience. The post went viral. Mia got over 40 emails in 2 days, people asking about her services, her writing, her story. She booked 3 new clients by the weekend. Not $2,000 in one shot, but honest work. Real connections. Aligned with her values. She opened her journal and wrote, "You can grow fast. Or you can grow strong. I choose strong." Mia sat at her desk, sticky notes still on the wall. Start a business. Become a millionaire. Live on the beach. But she smiled most at the newest one she added. Say no to shortcuts. Say yes to your path. She wasn't just building income now. She was building integrity. And it felt better than any shortcut ever could. Chapter 5: When the Spotlight Finds You. Mia's inbox was full. Her viral post had opened doors she never knew existed. Small business owners wanted blog content. Coaches needed email writers. Startups asked for web copy. It was happening. The dream she had written on a sticky note 2 years ago, get paid to write from anywhere, was no longer just a dream. It was her real life. At first, it felt amazing. Every morning, she would open her laptop and see new messages. People respected her work. They liked her writing style. Clear, honest, warm. She felt proud. She felt seen. But after a few weeks, something else crept in. Pressure. Mia sat in her room late one night, eyes tired, fingers aching. She had taken on too many clients too quickly. 5 deadlines. 2 missed calls. A message she forgot to reply to. Her head was buzzing. Her chest felt tight. This is what I wanted, she told herself. Why am I stressed? She looked around her apartment. It was messy again, coffee cups, open notebooks, dishes in the sink. Her routines had fallen apart. She was working, yes, but not resting. She had become productive, but not peaceful. She remembered the early days, when waking up early felt like a win, when one blog post brought a smile. Now, she had clients who expected results. Fast. She was no longer invisible. And that scared her. One evening, she got an email from a big brand, an online education company with thousands of followers. We love your voice. We'd like to feature you in our upcoming campaign. A short video interview and a written piece. Paid, of course. Mia stared at the message for a full 5 minutes. This was huge. Exposure. Money. Credibility. But her heart? It felt shaky. What if I mess up, she whispered. What if they find out I don't have it all together? She called Lily. They want me in a campaign, Mia said, voice trembling. Lily paused. That's incredible. Are you going to do it? I don't know. I feel like I'm not ready. Lily was quiet for a moment. Then she said something that hit deep. You always think you need to be more than you are. But maybe who you are right now is exactly enough. The next morning, Mia walked to the cafe down the street, without her phone. Just a notebook and a pen. She sat at the corner table, sipping coffee, writing down her thoughts. She wrote, I'm afraid of being seen. I'm afraid of failing in public. I'm afraid I'm still that lazy girl inside. Then she wrote something else. But I'm not that girl anymore. I've shown up. Every single day. And that counts. By the time she finished her coffee, she had made her decision. She would say yes to the campaign. Not because she felt fearless, but because she had learned to move forward even when afraid. The video shoot was simple, just a few questions. She wore a white shirt and soft makeup. Nothing fancy. They asked, "What advice would you give to your younger self?" Mia paused, smiled, and said slowly, "Stop waiting to be perfect. You don't need a big plan. Just one honest step forward." The interviewer nodded. That's powerful. And it was. Because she had lived it. The campaign launched 2 weeks later. Her face was on their website. Her words in their newsletter. Comments poured in, people saying her story gave them hope. "I've been stuck for months. Your story gave me the push I needed. I thought I was the only one who felt lazy but wanted more. Thank you for being real." Mia read each comment with tears in her eyes. This wasn't just success. It was impact. That night, she sat alone on her balcony, a cup of tea in her hands. The city lights blinked below her. She wasn't rich yet. She didn't live on a beach. But she had something better now. Confidence. Not the loud kind. The quiet kind that comes from keeping your promises to yourself. From saying yes to what matters. From becoming the kind of woman who shows up, even when it's hard. She took out one last sticky note and wrote, "Being seen isn't the reward. Becoming real is." Then she added it to the wall beside the others. Chapter 6: The Burnout. Mia had made it, at least, that's what people thought. She had clients. She had money in her account. Her work was being shared online. People were noticing her. Some even called her an inspiration. But Mia didn't feel inspired. She felt tired. Really tired. She had been saying yes to everything, every opportunity, every job, every message that landed in her inbox. She was afraid to slow down. Afraid that if she stopped for even one day, everything she had built would fall apart. So she kept going. She worked during lunch. She worked on weekends. She answered emails at midnight. At first, it felt exciting. But now? It felt heavy. One Sunday morning, Mia woke up early, planning to finish 2 blog drafts. But when she sat at her desk, her hands couldn't move. Her mind was blank. Her body felt heavy. Her eyes burned from too many late nights. She stared at her screen for nearly an hour. Nothing came. No words. No ideas. Just silence. She stood up and walked to the mirror. Her skin looked pale. Her eyes had dark circles. Her shoulders were tense. "I look exhausted," she said out loud. And she was. Later that day, Lily came over with soup and fresh bread. Mia hadn't asked her to. She just knew. "You've been quiet lately," Lily said softly. Mia nodded. "I think I'm burning out." Lily put her hand on Mia's shoulder. "It happens. Even to the best of us." "I was so scared of being lazy again," Mia whispered, tears welling up. "I overworked myself to prove I wasn't." Lily looked at her, eyes kind. "You're not lazy, Mia. You're just human. And humans need rest." That night, Mia did something she hadn't done in months. She turned off her phone. Closed her laptop. and took a hot bath. She didn't read. She didn't write. She just breathed. It felt strange at first. Like she was doing something wrong. But slowly, the guilt melted away. And peace took its place. Over the next week, she made changes. Small ones. She added 2 new rules to her wall. Rest is part of success. You don't have to earn your right to pause. She started blocking out no work time. She created quiet hours in her day, no messages, no tasks, just space to breathe, stretch, walk, or think. And slowly, her energy returned. Not all at once. But enough. One afternoon, she sat in the park with her notebook. No clients. No pressure. Just Mia. And the breeze. She wrote, "Success without peace is just another kind of prison." That line stayed with her. She realized something powerful that day. Her laziness in the past wasn't always about being spoiled or weak. Sometimes it was her body saying, "You need rest. You need direction. You need care." Back then, she ignored it by doing nothing. Now, she was learning to listen. And that changed everything. She started teaching others, not just about writing, but about working in a healthy way. She created short videos, how to rest without guilt. Why breaks make you better. The myth of non-stop hustle. People connected with them deeply. Because like her, they were tired too. One message read, "I thought rest was failure. You showed me its wisdom." Mia smiled when she read that. Because she had learned it the hard way. Success, she now believed, wasn't about how fast you moved. It was about moving with purpose. And knowing when to stop. That night, Mia sat on her balcony again, tea in hand, blanket over her knees. The city lights blinked in the distance. She looked at her sticky notes. They still made her smile. But her favorite now was one she had written just yesterday. "You're allowed to pause. That's how you keep going." Chapter 7, Full Circle. Mia was sitting in her favorite cafe, typing slowly on her laptop. She wasn't rushing. She wasn't stressed. She was writing a new blog post called "How I Went from Ambitious But Lazy to Finally Doing the Work." It was honest, simple, and real. Just like she always wanted her writing to be. She took a sip of her coffee and smiled. This was the life she had dreamed of. Not perfect. But real. Not easy. But peaceful. And then, she heard someone crying. In the corner of the cafe, a young woman sat with her head in her hands. She was hiding her face, but Mia could see her shoulders shaking. A laptop sat in front of her. It was open, but untouched. Next to it, a notebook full of messy handwriting. Mia knew that scene too well. It was her. 2 years ago. Stuck. Tired. Wanting more, but unsure how to begin. Mia hesitated. Then she stood up and walked over. "Hey," she said gently. "Are you okay?" The woman looked up, embarrassed. She wiped her eyes quickly. "Oh, I'm sorry," she said. "I'm just overwhelmed." Mia nodded. "I understand." The girl smiled nervously. "Do you work here?" Mia laughed. No, just a customer. But I used to cry in this exact cafe too. The girl gave a small laugh through her tears. Seriously? Yeah, Mia said. I was trying to start a business. I had dreams, but no energy. Plans, but no discipline. I was ambitious, but honestly, I was lazy. The girl blinked. That's exactly how I feel. Mia sat down across from her. What's your name? She asked. Sophia. Mia smiled. Nice to meet you, Sophia. They talked for an hour. Sophia shared everything, how she quit her job to chase her dream of being a writer, but ended up watching YouTube all day. How she made plans but never followed them. How she wanted success without the stress. I just don't know how to get moving, Sophia whispered. Mia nodded. I know. I felt the same. Everyone else seems to have it figured out, Sophia said. Mia smiled softly. They don't. Most people are just figuring it out one step at a time. She pulled out her old notebook, the one she always kept in her bag. On the inside cover, she had written, "One honest step is better than 1,000 perfect plans." She showed it to Sophia. That sentence saved me, Mia said. Before leaving, Mia wrote her email on a napkin. Here, she said. Message me. I'll check in on you next week. And if you want help creating a small routine, I'll walk you through it. Sophia's eyes filled again, but this time, not with sadness. Thank you, she said. No one's ever offered to help me like that before. Mia stood up and smiled. Someone once helped me. Now it's my turn. That night, Mia walked home feeling full, not just with food or coffee, but with purpose. Helping Sophia reminded her of how far she had come. She used to cry in cafes. Now, she was helping others stand up. She used to avoid her work. Now, she faced it, with focus, with peace. She used to hate the word lazy. Now, she understood it wasn't the enemy, just a signal. A message. A warning. And she had listened. Later, she got a message from Sophia. I made a list today. A real one. Not a dream list. A do this today list. And I finished 2 things. It felt small. But it also felt amazing. Thank you. Mia smiled. She wrote back. That's not small. That's everything. She looked at her wall of sticky notes. She hadn't added a new one in a while. But today, she did. It said, help the next one rise. Because Mia had learned something important. Ambition without action is empty. Action without rest is dangerous. But sharing your story? That's how you create light for someone still stuck in the dark. Chapter 8, Becoming the Guide. A full year had passed since Mia took her first real step. One morning, she woke up before her alarm. Not because she had to, but because she wanted to. She sat up, stretched, and smiled. Her life looked very different now. She was no longer chasing random jobs. She wasn't drowning in pressure or hiding under her blanket with guilt. She had focus. She had balance. And more importantly, she had something she never imagined she'd find. A mission. It started with one idea. After helping Sophia and receiving dozens of messages from people who related to her story, Mia had a thought. What if I build something of my own, not just for clients, but for people like me? She wrote the idea in her journal that day. At the top of the page. For the ambitious but stuck. She imagined a small online platform. Nothing huge. Nothing flashy. Just a space to help people move from dreaming to doing. She called it the First Step Club. A blog. A podcast. Free tools. A short course called Lazy is a Lie, a gentle guide to building momentum, one small action at a time. She built it piece by piece, without rushing. Because now, Mia knew, slow is still progress. The day she launched the site, she felt something new. Not fear. Not pressure. Not even excitement. She felt ready. She wrote her first post and clicked publish. Then she closed her laptop, stood up, and made tea. No panic. No checking stats. No begging the world to notice. Just peace. Because for the first time, Mia was doing the work for herself, and for those who needed it. Not to prove something, but to serve someone. A month later, she got a message from a man in Brazil. Your podcast helped me get out of bed and start again. I'm 37. I thought it was too late. It's not. Another from a mother in India. I listened to your 5-minute plan episode. I finally wrote the first page of my novel. And another. Thank you for saying rest is not failure. That sentence changed me. Mia sat with these messages, hands pressed to her heart. She remembered the first time she opened her laptop with shaky hands. The first logo she designed just to feel like she had started something. The day she chose effort over excuses. And she whispered, it was all worth it. One evening, Mia visited her parents. They were proud, of course, but more than that, they were relieved. They had seen her during her quiet days. The sad ones. The lazy ones. The why isn't she doing anything days. And now? They saw her fully alive. Not perfect. But present. Focused. Free. Before bed that night, Mia opened her journal. She didn't write a to-do list. She didn't plan goals. She just reflected. She wrote. I was never lazy. I was just scared. I was tired. I was unsure. But I chose to begin, and that changed everything. She smiled. Then added one more line. The dream is not the destination. It's the path you walk, one step, one choice, one day at a time. The next morning, she did something special. She took down every sticky note from her wall. Some were old, faded, curling at the edges. She read each one with love. Start a business. Become a millionaire. Live on the beach one day. Rest is part of success. Say no to shortcuts. Be patient with the climb. And at the end, the one that made her eyes water. Help the next one rise. She gathered them into a small box and tied it with a ribbon. Not to throw them away, but to honor them. They were no longer dreams. They were memories. And now, Mia was ready to begin a new chapter. One she would write not just for herself, but for others. She stood by her window, sunlight pouring in. A new sticky note waited on her desk. Blank. Because the next goal? She would write it with full attention, full heart, and full belief. Did Mia's journey inspire you? If you enjoyed this story and want to improve your English through more real, powerful stories like this, like the video to support the channel. Subscribe so you never miss a new story. Comment below, what part of Mia's story felt most real to you? Want more stories that teach life lessons in English? Check out our playlist, English Through Stories, right here on the channel. And remember, the best way to learn is by listening, feeling, and connecting. So keep learning. Keep growing. And take your first step, just like Mia.